Odipan, Pengay, I hope you're doing good. RWS, 30th of May, this upcoming Saturday. Very good card from top to bottom. A lot better, in my opinion, than last week's card, which was full of mismatches. And I'm excited, so let's get into it. First fight, women's catchweight, 113 pounds, Narak WKK versus Maria Eduarda. Narak is a southpaw, very measured, calculated, has a good left kick, can work off the back foot, can pressure forward as well, undefeated in RWS, had a good win in her last fight against Nong Nam, finished through elbow KO, and interesting fighter, young, 20, 21, and interesting, but she is now facing her first real test, I believe, in Eduarda. Eduarda has fought earlier in bantamweight. She's fought opponents like the former champion Somratsami, lost through split decision. She has fought the current, or now the former champion as well, Barbara Aguiar, and Eduarda is an interesting orthodox pressure fighter. Always fun to watch, always goes all out, heavy boxing combinations. Has had some issues when being pressured backwards, like in her fight against Eva Poto, Finnish fighter. She was pressured backwards and she's not as confident off the back foot, but going forward, she throws hands, and this is going to be an interesting fight. And even though Narak is good at controlling the tempo of a fight, staying calm, staying relaxed, I believe that Eduarda will probably push her back and land a lot of hands on her. So I'm going to go Eduarda unanimous decision for this one. Fight number 2. Super lightweight, Carl Tanyan from Ireland versus Kieran Scoop from France. Tanyan, Irish fighter, as I said, trains out of Bangtao Muay Thai gym. Very well-rounded, orthodox fighter. Has good hands, has solid clinch, likes teeping, likes finishing combinations with his very solid right kick, and had a great last year. 5-0 after his debut. Won Best Male Fighter of the Year in RWS. Won his last fight in 2026 as well. So coming in with a good streak, very calculated fighter, does not do a lot of mistakes, and has solid footwork, head movement as well. Now he's fighting Kirian Scoop, French fighter, a fighter that stands tall in front of you, uses his right kick and also right elbow, especially the right elbow. In his win against Superman, he threw that right elbow on top of the guard, through the guard, and he got the win. Very, stand there and bang type of fighter. Does not really move his head a lot, does not utilize footwork a lot. And in this matchup, I see Tanyan's footwork and his ability to mix up attacks as the deciding factor. So I'm going to go Tanyan, probably unanimous decision. Scoop is tough, so I'm not sure we're gonna see a finish. So I'm gonna say unanimous decision, Carl Tanyan. Fight number 3. Welterweight, 147 pounds, Erdem Dincer versus Avatar. Dincer, Turkish fighter, former welterweight champion, won the belt against Lapira and then lost it to Hercules. And then he had 2 more fights with Hercules and he lost those 2 as well. So he's 0-3 against Hercules. Dincer is a pressure fighter, aggressive, very fun to watch, puts hands on you, heavy combinations, mixes in a lot of elbows as well, right kicks. Very interesting fighter to watch, fun to watch. Has had issues in the matchups against Hercules with fighters that work off the back foot and does not want to engage in a brawl. Um, but luckily for him, he faces Avatar now, which is also a pressure fighter, a brawler, loves to throw hands, muy mat type of style. Um, is 5-4 in One Friday fights, and a fighter that has fought in One Friday fights has definitely the ability to move forward and pressure because that's awarded in one. So interesting fight between two pressure fighters. Mm, I see the deciding factor here being that Avatar is a little bit of a fighter that he takes a punch to give a punch, and I think that could be a problem in this matchup against Dinser. It's gonna be a war, and I think this is probably gonna be fight of the night. Could be fight of the night, but I have a hard time seeing we get 3 full rounds. So I believe the defense is a little bit better on Dinser's side, and I'm gonna have to say Dinser, third round KO. Probably an elbow over the left shoulder of Avatar. Yeah, third round KO, Dinser. Moving on, fight number 4, catchweight, Kensak Jitmagnon versus Watana Auracha. Kensak, the drunken master, trains out of Jitmagnon gym and Phuket Fight Club. Those two gyms have a good connection. And Kensak is one of the most fun fighters to watch in Muay Thai nowadays. He is evasive, he is tricky, very good footwork, very dangerous but good head movement, keeps his hands down a lot, especially compared to other Muay Thai fighters. Switch stance fighter, has good left kick, has good elbows, goes to the body, goes up top, mixes in attacks very well from both stances, and trains at a Jitmagnon gym, or a product of Jitmagnon gym. And fighters from there, Rod Tang, Nung Lan Lek, who is also on this card, Pan Payak, fighters that are tough. The gym produces extremely tough fighters, and Kensak is one of them. Although he fights a very unique style, which is fun to watch. 3-0 on RWS, I believe, and yeah, I'm excited to see this fight because he's fighting another switch fighter, not as much, but a little bit of a switch fighter in Watana. Watana is a fighter that has a good left kick, has a solid 1-2, switches a lot, but has a little bit of a problem with his defense at times. He tends to overextend punches, and in some fights I think he looks a little bit slow. Kensak moves fast, it's almost like he can see the future, while Watana is a little bit more reaction based. Like, he reacts more while Kensak predicts, and I feel like that's a big difference in this matchup. I think we're probably going to see a finish in this one. I'm not sure exactly how, but I can see Kensak finishing Watana with either a left kick over the shoulder or maybe an elbow. If Watana switches to orthodox, throws a cross, he tends to overextend. So I can see Kensak coming in with a kick or an elbow, finishing through KO, head kick, headshot, or a knee to the body as well. Watana covers up a lot, opens up the body, and as we saw in Kensak's last fight against Ashdari, he kicked to the liver finish, and I think we could see something similar with a kick or a knee. So I'm gonna say second round finish, Kensak. Moving on, fight number 5, welterweight, 147 pounds, Nunglanlek Jitmagnon, same as Kensak, versus Kirill Khomutov. Jitmagnon, Nunglanlek Jitmagnon, has a decent record in RWS, has some losses, has some wins. A former Rajanamnon World Series tournament title challenger, is a former Omnoy Stadium champion and Lumpini Stadium champion. He has wins over Pinpech, Peshtonchai, Runkit with elbows, and also Chujaron. That was a KO through punches, I believe. Then he's lost to Capitan and he lost to Tapao Keo in a fight for the Pride TV belt. Orthodox Muay Khao, Muay Sok fighter, good knees, but also very brutal with his elbows. Relentless, keeps coming forward, pressures you. Jitmagnon gym product, tough as nails, does not really budge, takes a punch to give a punch, and very interesting fighter. I can see a weakness a little bit in, at least in the loss against Tapao Keo. It became a brawl and a lot of clinching, and he kind of lost that fight against Tapao Keo through the grittiness of Tapao Keo. I don't think we're going to see a similar fight in this one, though, because Khomutov, the Russian fighter he's fighting, is a Soviet type of style kickboxer, sits down on his punches, throws good combinations, 1, 2, 3 to the body, has fought on One Friday Fights earlier, 3-2 there, losses to Yodaiq, to Ferrari, two amazing fighters, of course, no shaming losing to them. And in RWS, he also has a mix, loss to Satari, win to Fanimit. And that loss against Satari especially is, for me, a little bit of a predictor of this fight. I think since Nunglanlek is so good with elbows, and in that fight, Khomutov against Satari, he got cut badly by elbows from Satari. And I think we're going to see a little similar thing here, because Khomutov has a tendency, he's an orthodox fighter, and he tends to drop his left hand a little bit. And I think that's something that Nunglanlek will take advantage of, either through a right kick to up top, or elbows and hooks on that left hand side of Khomutov. This also is a potential fight of the night winner, and I think I have to land in Nunglanlek through a split decision. I believe it's going to be a tough fight, and Khomutov is tough, he doesn't go down easy, but Nunglanlek is going to find success on that left hand side of Khomutov, kicks, punches, elbows, and yeah, I'm going to have to say Nunglanlek split decision. Tough fight. Then we have the main bout of the night. Interim minimum weight world championship, 105 pounds. Singh Surat, the current interim champion, versus Laostar. Laotian fighter. They have fought before, and in that fight, Singh Surat came out on top. That was in Pechindi. I'm not sure what year it was, but in Pechindi, and in that fight, the deciding factor was the clinching, and Singh Surat delivered, I don't know how many left knees, an insane amount of left knees. And even though he did not really make Laostar quit or look phased, it was just the amount of it. And Laostar had problems getting in there. Singh Surat is a fighter with a very calculated southpaw style, I would say a bit of a Muay femur, very high IQ, uses footwork, cuts angles, um, comes in with a very good left kick, teeps, likes to teep to the thigh to keep away your opponent. Um, Very technical aspect of teeping, and he's a former Pride TV champion as well, and very interesting fighter. Uses all of his weapons, likes to catch kicks, has okay boxing. The weakness that I have seen in his fight sometimes is that he tends to get clipped with the boxing. He gets clipped with uppercuts. He has a tough chin, but he gets clipped. And he fights in a rematch. He fights Lao Star, and Lao Star is Muay Lao type of fighter, Laotian fighter. And Muay Lao is a little bit different than Muay Thai. The different styles of Muay Thai, because it's Muay Lao uses a very aggressive style, especially through low kicks. Uh, I've seen Lao Star in the highlights that I managed to find and the matches I managed to find. He chops down the legs of his opponents. He has a few leg kick KOs, and I believe we're going to see an attempt at that today. Although the problem for Lao Star is that he's fighting Singh Surat, which is a southpaw fighter, which makes it a little bit more difficult to throw those leg kicks. He can throw the inside to the right leg, of course, but it's a little bit more awkward, and it opens him up a little bit for the left kick from Singh Surat. Laustar has a 5-0 record in minimum weight right now. I believe he is a former Omnoy Stadium champion. Pressure fighter, aggressive, throws leg kicks, has solid boxing combinations, very tough. He eats a lot of shots, but it doesn't look like it faces him that much. This is going to be a very interesting fight. I'm a little bit conflicted on it, if I'm being honest with you. Singh Surat is very technical, and he won the last fight against Laustar, but something tells me that Laustar is going to adapt from the last fight and find a way to clock Singh Surat with punches and also mixing in his very good low kicks. And I think he's going to get revenge on this one so that it builds up for a huge trilogy fight. Laustar, if he wins, he becomes the first worst, the first Laotian RWS champion, interim champion. And yeah, I think we have a good fight ahead of us. Muay Thai, Muay Fima versus Muay Lao, and I'm gonna say Laustar. I think he gets a fourth round finish, probably punches mixed in with some low kicks, but KO punches fourth round. And then we have the last fight of the night. Catchweight, I believe. Yassin Nusrati versus David Sinclair. Two debutants. A little bit harder to find footage of these two fighters. But Nusrati is a orthodox fighter, heavy boxing, likes to sit down on his punches, has 2 wins on Raja KO. Also, I watched a loss against Alan Levois in Khun Khmer with a left hook, I believe, in Cambodia. Has a good switch kick as well, is quite aggressive in his style, and he's solid young fighter. I think 19 or 20, and he's fighting Sinclair, Scottish fighter, a powerhouse Phuket Muay Thai fighter, makes his debut as well. Is 1-1 on RWS. Has lost earlier in his career. He lost to leg kicks, a fight that I watched. Has a tendency to drop his hands a little bit when he's boxing. Like if he throws a right, the left can come down a little bit, at least in the older fights. Maybe he's done it better now, improved on that aspect. A little bit flat-footed, a little bit slow, but I believe he's tough, and I think he's gonna win a split decision in this one against Nusrati. It's gonna be a tough fight. It's a tough fight to call always with debutants, but yeah, I'm gonna say Sinclair split decision. And that's all the fights for RWS 30th of May. Very interesting card, a lot better than last week's, like I said in the beginning of the video, and I'm excited. Let me know your predictions, and I'll see you in the recap. Khop kun kap, จอกัน